Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and we are at week 3. Week 3's update. Postpartum. Back in to get fit. Yeah.
One, two, three, cuatro.
Look who's come to be in the video. Poor little thing sitting there really quietly, and then you just got hiccup. Yeah, you did. At least you're awake this time. Say hi to the people. So week 3, I had very high hopes for, and it didn't go as well as I anticipated. Seriously, getting back into everything has been so much harder than I ever expected, because beforehand, you know, just being able to look after myself and not having any other obligations apart from looking after me and not having this little one, it was so much easier. And let me tell you, just trying to manage time, having her, trying to fit everything in, has been super hard for me. What's up, baby girl? You good? Oh, farted on camera. Oh my god, that smells really bad. I tell you what though, you guys, we started giving her a little bit of formula once a day, and it's made her fart smell so bad, like so bad. Recap of the week. I wasn't really dropping much weight like I wanted to over the last couple of weeks. Like, I was plateauing, my weight was really staying quite stagnant. My measurements were kind of fluctuating a little bit too, and I was actually getting a little bit stressed in terms of trying to fit in as much activity that I knew it would take to start getting things moving a little bit more. And I really didn't want to decrease my calorie intake because I am still breastfeeding, and I didn't want that to affect my milk supply in any way. But my calories were probably still a little bit higher than they needed to be. So after a little discussion and research and talking it out with a couple of people that I know who are in nutrition and are registered dietitians, I realized I did have a little bit more leeway in terms of being able to drop my calories. I didn't really want to drop my calories. My preference would be to increase activity level. But because I wasn't really able to increase my activity level, and I'm kind of getting stressed out about trying to increase it and fit it into the day every day, it's just not really been happening as much as I wanted to, or as much as I needed to on the current calorie intake I was on. So I dropped my calories a little bit instead, which has actually made me de-stress about having to get as much exercise in as I originally had planned to. So now I'm kind of like, okay, if I get to train today, great. If I get to go for a walk today, great. If I don't, it's okay. You have to remember that you need to be in a caloric deficit to make progress, to lose body fat. But everyone's is different. So even though you can work out your caloric intake for whether you're breastfeeding and account for that, or you can, you plug any numbers into kind of a macro calculator or work it out yourself. There's just a predicted macro intake and calorie intake. It's not necessarily what your body is going through and where you are at, because everyone's body kind of shifts and adapts depending on what it's going through at the time. So what I predicted actually turned out to be a little higher than what my body is actually burning. And I'd been quite sedentary for a while, so I work from home, I work on my computer all day, and I sit down with her a lot, and it's very difficult to stay as active as I used to be. So taking that into account, I realized that, okay, I'm not actually in a deficit. I was probably sitting at maintenance with the activity level I was doing plus the caloric intake I was at. So to increase that into a deficit, you have to look at either, okay, I need to increase my activity, or I need to eat less. So for me, doing a little bit of both, eating a little bit less plus keeping activity there, has actually really helped me this week, which has been awesome. So I did that change halfway through the week, and I started kind of dropping straight away, which was unreal. I dropped a pound over a few days, which was awesome, which is about half a kilo, which is my kind of aim every week anyway. And the scale weight actually really did fluctuate a lot because I was great from Monday to Friday, and then over the weekend, we had a bridal shower with all the food there, and I just was like, whatever. I didn't even track my macros for the day. I did plug them in later, and I realized that my calories probably weren't that much more over, but I pretty much ate all carbohydrates and fats and no protein for the day, which is not ideal. And then Sunday too, it wasn't really the best. Again, probably just overshot on the carbs, which isn't bad considering my calories were still roughly the same. It's more, I know my weight will fluctuate a lot because I tend to hold a lot of fluids if I overshoot my carbs and my body isn't really used to it. So yeah, my weight was like this all week. But on average, I was sitting at 159 pounds. I'm not sure what that is in kilos right now because my scale is in pounds. But I cracked under 160, which is awesome. My lowest was 158 before I kind of messed it up over the weekend. However, I'm not going just by scale weight, which is really important to do another kind of measurement. So I am measuring my waist. I'm doing everything actually all over, like thighs, hips, all the rest of it. But my waist is the one that I kind of go by the most. And I dropped ½ an inch, which is awesome. So that regardless of my weekend where I kind of was terrible, my waist still went down ½ an inch, so winning. And I think also remembering a lot of things postpartum, especially that I lost a lot of muscle during the pregnancy, which a lot of women do because you can't lift as much load. Well, not everyone, but for me anyway, I found from about, especially the start of the third trimester, I couldn't really lift as much. I was losing a lot of muscle because I just wasn't training like I used to train, and that's completely fine. I was just trying to stay active for, you know, keeping my health up. So I lost a lot of muscle. So also what can happen now that I'm adding in more resistance style training is that I can be building a little bit more lean body mass, and then my scale weight isn't changing too much, and things take time to kind of get into motion as well. So you're not just going to drop straight away, especially if your focus is changing body composition like mine is. And a pound in a week is great. Like that's ½ a kilo a week. That's super healthy. That's super sustainable and achievable. So I'm not going to change my macros at all this week. If anything, I'm going to aim for a little bit more activity, more resistance sessions, because last week I think I only did one session in the gym. I think I did a session at home and the rest was a few walks. But what I am being more conscious of is tracking my NEAT. So basically that's the activity you do just during the day outside of any exercise. So any walking to go up the stairs, walking to the car, like whatever else you're actually doing. Usually I have my fitness tracker on, but I don't have it on today. I'm just kind of keeping a conscious effort on it. But I hit 10,000 steps 3 days out of last week, which was awesome because before that I was only hitting about maybe 3,000 if I was lucky. And then I think I'm averaging other days where I'm a lot lower, at least 5,000 steps, which is awesome. So I'm just focusing on getting that activity level up as well, because you can train for an hour, and let's say you train an hour a day and you sit on your butt the rest of the day, you're still only going to get so far. You really need to be burning as much as you can all day. So I think last week, apart from my kind of weekend lapse, kind of just happened. I'm not perfect. It happened. And I think I did pretty well considering, and my activity level was actually pretty good. Just that stress is off from that pressure of having to do something every single day now. And that is the pressure I put on myself. I am here to spend, oh, I'm so sorry, you're trying to sleep. I am here to spend as much time with her as possible. I am a working mum, which makes things really hard sometimes. And I put everything else kind of before myself. And then trying to get that workout in is whether it happens or not. On the plus side, she actually started sleeping longer this week. Yes, like last night she actually slept 10 hours. I couldn't believe it. She slept 10 hours after we did a little bedtime ritual with her. She was out. I did not expect it. I actually didn't even set my alarm this morning. I wanted to go to the gym and I thought, well, she'll wake me up at like 6 a.m, which she does usually anyway. and we'll get up and go to the gym after I feed her. Nope, we slept through all the way till 9 a.m. and I was like, okay, there goes the gym session for the day. So I know that's not going to happen today. I'm going to have to try and get something done at home tonight, or we'll just go for a walk, or just do whatever I can. I think the biggest thing I hear with mums, and I think it's more what things I tell myself as well, is that, you know, don't put the pressure on yourself. You don't have to worry about it. Like, spend as much time with your baby. Your gym will always be there and exercise will always be there. Yes, that is very true, and I do agree with that, and I do prioritize her over training on the time when, you know, when it's necessary. However, I do feel like it's very easy to start building that in as kind of like an excuse to an extent. Don't take my words the wrong way, okay, guys? So what I mean by that is, it's very easy to be like, oh, I'm not going to exercise. I'm not going to make the effort to make time to exercise today because I need to spend time with the baby. I need to do this. I need to do that. And it turns into like a cycle, because I know for myself personally, before I actually got cleared to exercise, it took me a while to get into training once I was cleared, because I was like, oh, I'm still like, I just got cleared and I need to ease into it and blah, 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 which is true. But I felt like with my mindset, it's easy to fall into that default of being like, whatever, it'll always be there. And then things kind of get worse and worse. And for myself, I know in order to be the best mum I can be the happiest I can be, I need to feel good from the inside out. So it's not necessarily something I'm doing to look a certain way, but I need to feel great. Do you know what I mean? So that's really important. So feeling fit and active is an important aspect for myself to feel really good. And if I feel good, I'm going to pass that energy on to her, my husband, everybody around me. So I feel like that's very important. On that note, trying to change my mindset to prioritize exercise where I can, whether it's we're going for a walk in the afternoon, I take her with me, I do a home workout, she's there with me. If I can't get to the gym, if that's not realistic, then I do that. And I feel like sometimes it's easy to kind of put that aside and just be like, whatever, I'm just going to sit down with her because I'm spending time with her. Well, I'm still spending time with her, and sometimes like this, she's sleeping and I can see her next to me and we can do a workout, or I can do a workout and watch her and things like that. So I think that's important to keep in mind, that you just don't fall into that trap of kind of blaming the baby for using the baby as an excuse not to do things. I think it's that little balance we have to try and find, you know. So I'm trying not to do that, because I did catch myself out doing that for a little bit, which is not ideal. So all these things have been very challenging, and I just want to share my experience with you, that even someone who's been an athlete for such a long time and used to train a lot, I'm struggling to get back into it. I really am. And it's not that I don't want to. I want to, but when my priority is her and then working and then it's training, it's kind of hard. And it's just a case of not putting too much pressure on myself. I know it is that. So I'm just trying to find that balance between caloric intake and activity, because they do go hand in hand. And at the end of the day, if you're not in a deficit, you're not going to get results. So my goal at the moment is to get rid of as much body fat as I can, and try to kind of just reshape my body as well. But first, my goal is to get the body fat off, try to get some more shape back, but then after that, I'm going to reverse diet and focus on building more muscle and building the physique I kind of want slowly. Each week I feel like I'm getting better, and I think that's important. I think it's important to remember I'm not going to be perfect every single week. I'm trying my best. I don't think I have any events this week that require me to eat out. Usually I'm great with eating out, but I don't know what happened. This was just too much yummy food. I hadn't eaten all day and I was like, whatever, YOLO. But as long as I'm making slow progress, progress is still progress. Doesn't matter how slow it is. As long as you keep moving forward, that's all that really matters. Okay, this little one is passed out. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching my update. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below or contact me via DM or email or whatever you want to do. Make sure you guys subscribe, give this a thumbs up if you like it. I'm just trying to share everything that I can, and hopefully my experience helps some of you guys get some insight, especially if you're a new mum, or or just someone trying to get back up and get started back into health and fitness. You know, we all start from somewhere, and I feel like starting postpartum has made me start all over again. I feel like I'm starting from scratch. So if you're at that point, it's okay. You can start with me too. But thanks, guys. Bye.